Shalom, shalom, Yasharala. Hope y'all are having a good Sabbath so far. Shalom, Benji. Shalom, DC. Danya Allah. All right, Daniel. Israelite Gem. Shalom. Samara or Samara B. Shalom. So yeah, without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and get into this lesson. I'm gonna start by giving all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High Yahweh, and I do so in the name of His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, right? So hopefully, this is gonna be a very edifying lesson to some of y'all who are just coming into the truth, right? Or have been in the truth for a while, or in the knowledge of the truth for a while, right? So we're gonna start with let me share my screen real quick. We're gonna start in Proverbs chapter 4 and verse 5. And Danya Allah or Daniel DC 97, if you want to be pulling them up, that's fine. But I think my computer is going fast enough to or my connection's fast enough to go ahead and be pulling up the verses. So let me see. All right, there we go. So I'm going to start in Proverbs chapter 4 and verse 5. It says, "Get wisdom, get understanding, forget it not, neither decline from the words of my mouth." Right? So we all know that we need to get wisdom from the word, right? The knowledge, wisdom, and understanding from the word. But does anybody know what is the beginning of getting wisdom? Anybody know what the beginning of getting wisdom is? Hopefully the comments will be coming in real quick. Any of y'all know? In the Most High, awakening the lost sheep of Israel, Khan, the Wada. So this is Psalm 111 and 10. The fear of Yahweh is the beginning of wisdom, right? The fear of Yahweh is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do his commandments. His praise endureth forever, right? Which is why we say all praise to the Most High always, right? So the fear of Yahweh is the beginning of wisdom, right? It's the beginning of wisdom. So now, how do you know if you actually fear the Most High? Anybody know that one? How do you know if you actually fear the Most High? Because I mean, I know a lot of people that say they fear the Most High, but their actions tell you otherwise, right? Anybody know that one? So this is the book of Sirach, chapter 1 and verse 20. I'm going to start on 20. The root of wisdom. So Israelite Gem Khan, following commandments and statutes. So the root of wisdom is to fear Yahweh, right? So what is the root? It's the bottom. It's what everything else comes off of, or grows off of, or blossoms off of, right? And the branches thereof are long life. When you're rooted, when your wisdom is rooted in the fear of Yahweh, right? When you truly fear him and continue in it, it's going to branch long life, which we know means eternal life, right? Let's go to verse 21. The fear of Yahweh driveth away sins. So when you truly fear Yahweh, all right, it is going to drive away your sins. It is going to make you sin less, right? The fear of Yahweh driveth away sins. And where it is present, it turneth away wrath. So when you have the fear of Yahuwah, it is going to make you drive away sins. You are not going to be sinning as much. You're going to get it down and down and down. It's a process, right? But as you learn, you apply, right? And as you apply, your sins get lesser and lesser and lesser and lesser. It's like we were talking about yesterday. As you apply these things, you have to, or as you learn these things, you have to apply, or else there's no point, right? You have to drive away sin. When you have that fear, sin gets less and less and less. And where it is present, it turneth away wrath. And when you really have that fear in you, right, you're going to stop sinning. You're going to start following his word, and it's going to turn away his wrath, right? It's going to turn away his anger. It's going to turn away his salaka, his punishments, right? His wrath, his punishments are going to become less and less because you actually fear him and you're following his word. So now let's go to Ecclesiastes. We can go to Ecclesiastes 12 and 13, since everybody knows this verse, right? Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. So I'm sure everybody who's got an Instagram, probably the majority, if not all of you, are following me on Instagram, and everybody posts this verse, right? Everybody knows this verse. So it's Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man, right? So going back to that Psalm 111 and 10, that fear is the beginning, right? And from that fear is going to make you keep his commandments, right? So now let's read the next verse, though. Why should we fear the Most High, right? For Yahuwah shall bring every work into judgment. Everything that you or me have ever done, go into that judgment, right? With every secret thing. Anything you've done that only you know about, or only you and the Most High know about, or only you and the person you did it with and the Most High know about, he's going to bring into judgment. Whether it be good or whether it be evil, right? Even if it's some good deeds that you've done, right? I was actually getting on one brother in particular not too long ago, because he was doing good deeds and stuff, and he's always posting them and recording all of his good deeds, right? Which if you go into Matthew, it tells you not to do that. But your good deeds, even if it's only you and the Most High know about it, he's going to bring that into judgment. Whether it be evil deeds, he's going to bring all of those secret things into judgment, right? Which is why, going back to 12 and 13, this is why the whole duty is to fear the Most High. If you don't fear the Most High, you are not going to make it to the kingdom, plain and simple, right? So now let's go to Jude. I know we read this on the last study, but let's read this one more time, right? So this is the reasoning, or the reason that if the Most High put it on my spirit to have this particular study, right? I'm going to start on 21. Earlier today, I was like, you know what? I was talking to a brother, and then I have another brother I need to talk to after this, give counsel to on an issue that's going on with him. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna wait till tomorrow to do another live. But the Most High put it on my spirit, and I was like, oh, the fear of the Most High. That's exactly what we need to do. So Jude 1 and 21. Keep yourselves in the love of Yahuwah, looking for the mercy of Hamashiach, or Adawan Hamashiach Yahushai, unto eternal life, right? So we're supposed to keep ourselves in the love of the Most High, which I'm sure many of y'all are familiar with. 1 John 5 and 3. For this is the love of the Most High, that we keep his commandments, right? I'm sure all of you are familiar with that, so I won't pull it up. But we are supposed to keep ourselves in the love of him by keeping his word, looking for the mercy that comes with Yahushai, right? That comes with the grace, right? So if you think about it this way, grace, what is grace? If you think about it in a worldly example, if you haven't paid your light and you call the company, hey, I can't pay my light bill, I'm gonna have it in 10 days, right? And they give you that grace period. right? That period of time isn't for you to be sitting back and doing nothing, right? It's a period of time to work and do what you need to do to get your bill paid, right? So we need to remember and be looking for that mercy, right? That comes with Yahuwah in this grace period. We need to be looking unto eternal life and do what during that grace period we need to love the Most High, right? But let's keep going. And of some have compassion, making a difference. So like we talked about on the last lesson, some people on the speech lesson, some people need that compassion, right? They need to hear that the Most High loves you, you're a chosen people, which of course these are good things to bring out, right? The Most High, if you make it to the kingdom, there's gonna be no more tears, no more grief, no more death, right? That's that compassion. But from my personal experience, the people that I've helped come into the knowledge of the truth through Yahweh, it has been this instead. And others save with fear, right? Why? Because you have to give them that fear. You got to put that fear of the Most High in them so that they can begin to get wisdom, right? Pulling them out of the fire, hating even the garments spotted by the flesh, literally pulling them out of the fires of affliction and the literal lake of fire later on, right? Hating even the garment spotted by the flesh. Okay, so let's go to let me get a precept on this real quick. Timothy 4:16. 1 Timothy 4:16. Right, so we just read to fear the Most High in Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. You have to fear the Most High, right? That's a big part of the doctrine, right? That's part of the whole duty. So let's read this. 1 Timothy 4:16. Take heed unto thyself and unto the doctrine. So you have to take heed to yourself. You always have to be examining yourself, right? And unto the doctrine. Continue in them. So you have to continue in that fear of the Most High, right? Continue to follow his word because you actually fear him. For in doing this, thou shalt save both, or thou shalt both save thyself and them that hear thee, right? So in my personal opinion, or from my personal experience, rather, the fear of the Most High is what brings people more into the truth from my personal experience, right? So when you take heed to the fear of the Most High, which is part of the doctrine, and you continue in that fear, right? This is key right here. You have to continue in it, because like I've said before, I know many brothers and even some sisters that came into this thing and it looked like they were 100% in, and then now they're out, right? You have to continue in these things, and in doing so, you can save yourself if you continue, right? And then they hear. So going back to Jude 1 and 23, and others save with fear, pulling them out of the fire, hating even the garment spotted by the flesh, right? Let's get a precept on that real quick. Revelation, the 3rd chapter. So right here, hating even the garment spotted by the flesh, right? The fear of the Most High is to hate evil and hate pride. That's Proverbs 8 and 13. You're supposed to hate evil, right? So let's start on verse 4. All right, so this is Yahuwah. This is Yahuwah talking, right? And he says, thou hast a few names, even in Sardis, which have not defiled their garments. Okay, what does that mean? And they shall walk with me in white, for they are worthy, right? Who is this talking about? Anybody know who the ones that are going to walk in white with Yahuwah? So this is the next verse, verse 5. He that overcometh, the same shall be clothed in white raiment, and I will not blot out his name out of the book of life, but I will confess his name before my Father and before his angels, right? So in Jude, the first chapter, when it said hating even the garment spotted with the flesh, right? These men that he's talking about are those that overcame, right? They overcame temptations and trials and things of the world, and they're going to be clothed in white raiment. I will not blot out his name out of the book of life. I will confess his name before my Father and before his angels, before the Most High's angels, right? So this is talking about the 144,000. Israelite gem, elect, Khan, exactly, right? Revelation 7 talks about it if y'all want to get more into it. Maybe soon I'll do a whole lesson on the elect, on the 144,000. But Khan, Israelite gem, that's exactly who it's talking about, right? The elect. So now look at it this way. Yahuwah is gonna confess the elect. He's gonna plead for the elect before his Father, right? That would be a beautiful thing, right? For any man that's in this truth or trying to walk in the truth, that would be an amazing thing, right? Now let's look at the opposite side of it. Let's look at the opposite side, that the complete flip of that, right? Let's start on 21. Oh, actually, we'll start on 20. Matthew 7:20. Wherefore by their fruits ye shall know them. We're all going to be judged by our fruits, right? Not everyone that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven. So just because you're calling on Christ, right, or calling on Yahuwah, that doesn't mean you're going to enter into the kingdom. This is red letters, right? This is Yahuwah speaking. But he that doeth the will of my Father, that's who's going to enter, right? Who's following the word? Many will say, right? To me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name? And in thy name have cast out devils, and in thy name done many wonderful works. 23. And then will I profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity. Right? Ye that work iniquity. Imagine Yahuwah saying this. You go, you see Yahuwah, right? And you're about to be judged. And what does he say? He says, I never knew you. It's like, I don't know you, right? Get away from me. Depart from me. Get away from me. You are sinning, right? Ye that work iniquity. That should be a scary enough thing right there to make you want to get right that should be that right there should scare enough people to want to follow the laws. Because if you think about it, if you look at this in the other translations, which I'm not even going to do right now, but look at this verse, Matthew, after this, look up Matthew 7:23 on Bible Hub, and it has all the different translations, and it's going to say, you that are sinning, you that are breaking the commandments, right? You that are not keeping the Lord's laws, things to that effect, right? All ye that work iniquity, you that are going against the Most High's word. It doesn't matter if you profess to the Most High and Yahuwah, I believe in you, I love you, you're my Lord. It doesnn't matter. Yahuwah is going to say, I never knew you, right? Because like we said, what in Sirach chapter 1, what did it say? It said that if you actually fear the Most High, you're going to stop sinning. It's going to drive away sins, right? So if you're working iniquity, you're not going to make it, right? Plain and simple. So actually, let's go back to, real quick, Ecclesiastes, Salakia. Ecclesiastes, the 12th chapter, one more time, and then we'll go from there. So let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear Yahweh and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. Verse 14. For Yahweh shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. Right? So now think about this. Let's go to the Apocrypha. Doesn't have it here. Let's think about this for a second. How many things have you done since you've came into the knowledge of the truth, right? That nobody else knows about. Just you, right? Just you and the Most High. Or like I said, just you and whoever it is that you committed these things with or around, right? So this is 2nd Ezra 16 and 62. Yea, and the spirit of the almighty power, or God, which made all things and searcheth out all hidden things in the secrets of the earth. So you have to understand that he searches out all the hidden things, right? It doesn't matter if nobody else knows about it, right? This is Luke 12 and 2. For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed. This is Yahuwah speaking. Neither hid that shall not be known. Whatever you're doing in the dark is going to be brought to the light, right? Let's keep going with 2nd Ezra, verse 63. Surely he knoweth your inventions. He knows all the things you're inventing to enable you to sin, to enable you to go against his word, right? And what ye think in your hearts, even them that sin and would hide their sin, right? He knows all these things. He knows there's no way of hiding it from him. Verse 64. Therefore hath Yahweh exactly searched out all your works, and he will put you all to shame. He's going to put he's going to put everybody to shame in that day, right? And the more you don't fear him, the more you're going to keep going against his word, and the more ashamed you're going to be. So let's keep going. And when your sins are brought forth, ye shall be ashamed before men, and your own sins shall be your accusers in that day, right? So imagine you're in, like, say you're in a courtroom, and then a witness comes up and, oh yeah, I saw him do this or that, right? Your own sins are going to be your accusers in that day. Let's get one more verse. What will ye do, or how will ye hide your sins before the Most High and his angels, right? How will you hide it from his angels, right? You're not going to be able to hide your sins. You're not going to be able to hide it from the Most High and his angels who are around and see everything, right? They're like his eyes and ears, right? An angel just means a messenger, right? Which is why in Psalm 91, it says that his angels will lift you up, right? Lest thou dash thy foot against a stone. The angels are watching, man. And there's evil angels too, right? So think about that for a second. So before I get into the next verse, let me ask y'all something. Let me look through the comments. Okay, yeah, this just the verses. So let me ask y'all something. Besides in Judgment Day, right? Yahuwah saying, I never knew you. Depart from me. Get away from me, man. I don't even know you. You are sinning, right? What is some of y'all's worst punishments? What is the worst thing that you would want to happen to you or to your loved ones? Anybody? What's the worst thing that you would not want to happen to you? Say in Jacob's trouble. Hopefully y'all are all familiar with Jacob's trouble, right? Which Christianity calls the tribulation period. What's one of the worst things that you wouldn't want to happen to you? Matter of fact, I'm gonna plug in my charger real quick. Give me like 20 seconds, y'all. Okay, the water for waiting, y'all. Okay, so let me go up. Awakening the lost sheep of Israel, being raped as a dude. Khan, that would be a horrible, horrible punishment. And you know, a lot of our ancestors suffered that at the hands of the slave masters, right? There's actually a book that I'm gonna hopefully do like a short lesson on maybe this coming week that talks about that. Danya Allah starving to death, Khan, that would be horrible, man. So imagine you starving to death, or imagine seeing your loved ones starve to death, right? Or being castrated, Khan, that would be horrible. Which is also something that our ancestors suffered. Ivan Salazar, tormented for all eternity, Khan. But actually, me and the brothers from Church of Yahweh Basham Yahweh Shai are gonna do a lesson real soon on that. But I'm talking more before any type of judgment, the final judgment. We are the things that could happen to you, right? Israelite gem, my children being put to death. So Khan, that and one more thing would be, let me make sure no one else said it. He said during Jacob's trouble, forced to kill, Khan. So my children being put to death, Israelite gem. This right here is probably my biggest fear as well. So besides some of the other things that could happen, this is my biggest fear, right? So we're gonna go to Isaiah, which I'm sure y'all saw earlier when I posted it up. Oh, Salakia. I put 14, huh? Previous chapter. All right, so we're going to start on Isaiah 13 and 7, right? Isaiah 13 and 7. Therefore, so this is, for those of y'all who aren't familiar with Isaiah, the 13th chapter, this is talking about the destruction of Babylon. All right, this is talking about the destruction of Babylon. So this is Isaiah 13 and 7. Therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt. So you know when you see something so bad happen that you just feel so weak, right? Your hands are faint, you don't have no strength, and every man's heart or mind, right, shall melt. You're not going to know what to do in that day. If you're not following the Most High. Verse 8, and they shall be afraid, right? Everyone's going to be afraid. Pangs and sorrows shall take hold of them. They shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth, right? So if you go into Jeremiah, the 30th chapter, it says this as well. It says, wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his knees like a woman in travail, right? Like a woman that's going to give birth, right? And they're going to be so shocked. They're just going to be, oh man, right? Because of all these pangs or plagues and sorrows, which if you read Second Ezra, the 15th and 16th chapter, it'll tell you more about the pangs and sorrows and plagues, right? They shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth. They shall be amazed one at another. Their faces shall be as flames. Faces are all going to be lit up, seeing all these things, right? Verse 9. Behold, the day of Yahweh cometh, cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate. And he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. Right? So I remember I saw somebody not too long ago post, it was this verse with like one of those pictures from the book of Eli, where the land is just completely desolate, right? His cruel wrath and fierce anger is coming to lay this land desolate, right? So actually, let's jump down to, let me see, jump down to 11. And I will punish the world for their evil and the wicked for their iniquity. So again, how Yahweh Shai said, depart from me, ye that work iniquity, right? He's going to punish the whole world for their evil. And I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease. Nobody's going to be arrogant or proud no more in that day, because the Most High he's going to lay them down low, right? And will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. Verse 12. I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. So I'm sure y'all are familiar with this. A man of the Most High is going to be more precious than fine gold. Because guess what? Money profiteth not in the day of wrath, right? Proverbs 11:4. Money and gold and all that is not going to mean nothing to you, right? Let's actually jump down to 15. Everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and every one that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword, right? So it's like we read in Proverbs, I believe the 11th chapter, though hand join in hand, the wicked will not be unpunished, right? When the wicked are found, if you are hand in hand with the wicked, guess what? They're going to be thrust through. They're going to be put to death. And everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. What is the modern day sword? The gun, right? Let's keep going. Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes, right? So just like the sister said, let me go back up to that comment. I said, what is your biggest fear? My children being put to death. Khan, Israelite gem. That for an Israelite woman, I'm sure, and for an Israelite man, right? This verse right here should sum up your biggest fear. All right. Their children shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their house is spoiled. That means people going through your house, stealing whatever they want, right? And their wives ravished. Ravished means raped, right? That is the two. These two things is exactly why an Israelite man, if he knows he's an Israelite man, should be fearing the Most High and should be trying to follow the Most High. If these two things don't scare you as a man, right, and don't get you to fear the Most High, then me personally, I don't know what else is going to make you fear, right? If you don't fear your children being dashed to pieces before your eyes, you're going to watch them get killed, and your wife ravished, your wife raped, and you have no power in your hand, then I don't know what else is going to do it for you. I don't think anything else is going to do it for you, right? What comes to mind is many are called, few are chosen, right? Especially if you're an Israelite man and you're watching this, like the Most High is calling you right now. If you don't fear him, if you have children and you have a wife and you're seeing this, your children can be dashed to pieces and you will have to watch. Your house will be broken into and spoiled, and your wife is going to be raped, right? If that doesn't get to you, I'm honestly not sure what else will. But let's keep going. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them. So the Medes, does anybody know who the current day Medes are? Anybody? So the current day Medes is Iran and that area, right? That general area. But Iran is where the Medes were originally from. So the Most High is saying he's going to stir up, he's going to put the spirit on the Medes to go against Babylon, to go against America, right? And guess what? Who are they always saying that we have problems with? Who are we always trying to go to war with? The Medes. The Medes are trying to get alliances with as many people as they can. Russia, China, whoever they can, right? And guess what? The Most High is stirring them up against America, right? Which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. What did it just say in verse 12? I will make a man more precious than fine gold, right? Because this gold, these people come to murder and kill and rape and dash people to pieces. They're not going to want your gold or your silver or your money, right? They're not going to delight in that. They're coming because the Most High is stirring up their spirit to come and do all these things. Verse 18, their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children, right? So their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces. When I believe I did a study on World War III a long time ago. I don't even know if it's up on this channel. I think it was actually before that. But when you go into the prophecies of World War III happening, it says, make the arrows bright. And it says many of the arrows were bright, right? That's talking about the missiles coming down, right? So if you think about it, when Jeremiah and these other prophets were prophesying, they didn't know about nuclear bombs and all these things, right? So they had to explain it to the best of their ability, right? So when they say like make the arrows bright, and they saw them coming down from the heavens, that was those bombs, those missiles coming, right? But their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces. So this can represent guns, this can represent those rocket launchers, missiles, all of that. And they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. They don't care if your baby is, they don't care if they're not going to care if you're pregnant. They're not going to care if you got a little baby that's 1 week old, a month old, 6 months old. Their eyes shall not spare children, right? That should be a scary thing to anybody who has children, right? Which, as a matter of fact, let me go to let's get Hosea 4 and 6. Hosea 4 and 6. I know we went over this, was it yesterday or one of the last two studies? Hosea 4 and 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. So now think about it this way. Right now you're getting knowledge from the Most High, right? Any time that the Most High puts the Spirit on somebody to talk to you about the word, about his word, and they're actually giving you his word, and you don't follow it, you push it off to the side, right? You want to do your own thing. You are literally rejecting knowledge, right? You are rejecting knowledge. You are destroying yourself because you don't want knowledge. You are rejecting it. So guess what? You keep doing that, and he is going to reject you. That thou shalt be no priest to me. You're not going to teach his word. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God, I will also forget thy children. Right? So some people will say, and I've heard people say this to me personally, well, why would the Most High let that happen to children? Right? Why would he, if he's a loving God, and God is love, and this, that, and the other? Yes, God is love, but you have to understand that the Most High is a balanced God, right? He is balanced. So the reason why he's going to let this happen is because you're rejecting him. You're rejecting his knowledge, so he's going to reject you. You want to just forget the laws, just brush it off to the side. So he's going to brush off your children to the side, right? So for any of y'all, that should be a very scary thing if you have children, especially, right? If you have children, that should definitely scare you into following the Most High. So let's go to Isaiah, the 66th chapter. Salakia. Isaiah 66. And we'll start on verse 4. I also will choose their delusions and will bring their fears upon them. Right? So whatever I know only a couple of people, let me see. There was only a couple of answers, right? Maybe 4 or 5 answers. Maybe 4 or 5 answers when it comes to fear. But guess what? Whatever your fear is, whatever your biggest fear is, the Most High said he will bring that fear upon you. Why? Because when I called, none did answer. So when the Most High calls you, look, let me tell you, I know some brothers, and I know a sister that has had many times that the Most High's called her, right? She's even said to me, yeah, I know he's calling me. He gave me this dream. He gave me another dream. He gave me this sign. He gave me another sign. That is the Most High calling you. I know, I'm sure that all of y'all have had those moments where you're like, you know what? That's the Most High telling me, trying to give me a sign, right? That's the Most High trying to show me something. That's him calling you. That's why it says many are called, but few are chosen. Only the chosen are going to listen to his calling, right? So I will bring their fears upon them, because when I called, none did answer. So think about it. Examine yourself. Are you answering the Most High's calling? Are you correcting what you know needs to be corrected according to his word, right? When I spake, they did not hear, right? My grandma, who died not too long ago, she would always say that. She said, yeah, you're listening, but you're not hearing. It's going in one ear and out the other. She would say it in Spanish, right? But she would say, you're listening, but you're not hearing. It's going in one ear and out the other, right? When the Most High's word speaks through people, when he speaks through people and they say, hey, you're not supposed to do this because this verse says this, right? That's the Most High speaking through that person. He's putting the spirit on them to tell you that, to try to save your soul. But they did not hear. Most people don't want to hear that. They're like, all right, yeah. And they don't apply it, right? But they did evil before mine eyes. You just kept going on. You heard his word. He spoke, right? But you didn't hear. You listened, but you didn't hear it. You didn't apply what you heard. You did evil before his eyes and chose that in which I delighted not. Right? You want to choose what he doesn't delight in. You want to choose everything that goes against his laws, statutes, commandments, and precepts, because the precepts are important as well, like we talked about in the precept lesson, right? So this is Isaiah 66:5. Hear the word of Yahuwah. When you hear the word of Yahuwah, you need to realize that it is the word of Yahuwah. Like, picture the Most High talking to you. Say he was right here with you and he was talking to you. You would really listen to that word and you would want to apply that. Ye that tremble at his word. You need to tremble at his word. You need to fear his word. You're only going to tremble at his word if you truly believe his word, right? Your brethren that hated you, that cast you out for my name's sake, said, let Yahweh be glorified, right? So check this out. Your brethren that hated you, there's a lot of people out here that hate you or are going to cast you to the side, right? That cast you out for my name's sake. They're gonna, you know what? Let's not hang out with this person no more. They're following the Bible. They're Muslim, or they're religious. They're Christian. They're going all whatever they call you, right? They're gonna hate. They hate you for that. They don't even want to be around you. They cast you out, right, for the Most High's sake. Like I said in the previous lessons, one time I got kicked out of my own mom's house because I was trying to show her the word, right? Literally cast out, right? But he shall appear to your joy. The Most High is going to appear to your joy, and they shall be ashamed. The people that hate us for following the Most High, the people that cast us away for Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai's sake, they're going to be ashamed, man. They're going to be ashamed in these last days. And guess what? It's going to be a lot of Israelites that do that as well, that happens to as well, right? So let's go to chapter 65. Let me look at the comments real quick. Carla Cardenas. America is wicked, but the people who are most proud of their gods are the Hindu, India. They are, okay, I know exactly where this is going. You don't believe Babylon is America, right? Idols, many gods. I believe Hindu, India is Babylon, daughter. Okay, Khan, you can that's for another lesson, right? But what you have to understand is that it's prophesied all throughout the Bible that the majority of the diaspora of the Israelites are going to be in the daughter of Babylon, just like the majority of the Israelites in captivity of the first Babylon. The majority of them were in Babylon, right? And there's nothing new under the sun. Everything repeats. So in the daughter of Babylon, which is modern day Babylon, the majority of the Israelites have to be there as well, okay? Which we know the Americas is where the majority of the Israelites are today. So that's the short answer I would give you to that, because I mean, there's not a lot of people, but I've heard that way of thought before, that train of thought before, okay? So I do not have the spirit of fear, but power, love, and a sound mind. Okay, Khan, that's good. So yeah, let's go back to Isaiah 65, and we're going to start on 12. So remember, it said they shall be ashamed, right? So Isaiah 65:12, therefore will I number you to the sword, and ye shall all bow down to the slaughter. Who's going to bow down to the slaughter? Who's going to be numbered to the sword, right? Who's going to be slaughtered like animals? Because when I called, ye did not answer. Again, many are called, right? The Most High is calling many people in these last days. Let me tell you, in the last, I'd say week or 2 weeks, I've had more people hit me up through Instagram messages saying they're just coming in into trying to follow the word than probably I've ever had. There's a lot of people being called right now, right? But what it comes down to is, are you answering him? Are you answering him with your actions? Are you studying and applying what you are learning, right? When I spake, ye did not hear again, but did evil before mine eyes, and did choose that wherein I delighted not. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh God, behold, my servants shall eat, but ye shall be hungry, right? So this, think about in Jacob's trouble. You're out in the wilderness, or you're out wherever you are, you fleed from the cities, which like I said before, some brothers are saying, no, you don't have to flee the cities. It's not like a law that you have to do that. But guess what? These precepts are here for our learning, right? So if it says that you should be as a pilgrim on the earth, like it says in 2nd Ezra's 16 and 40, that is a very wise thing to do, to get out of the cities where most of the wrath and anger is going to be poured out on, right? So imagine you're out and you have nothing to eat. Well, this says my servants are going to eat, but those that didn't listen, they're going to be hungry. So one of the brothers said his biggest fear would be starving to death, right? Man, I would hate to starve to death too. I got a household of 6. That would be one of the worst things as well. Like imagine seeing your children starve to death day after day, and you can't do nothing about it, and you can't feed them, right? Behold, my servants shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servants shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. So just like it said in Isaiah the 66th chapter, right? It said they're going to be ashamed. Those people that didn't listen, they're going to be ashamed. Behold, my servants shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit. The ones that are serving the Most High, that are trying to keep His word, in that day, imagine in Jacob's trouble, and you got everything you need, right? You can feed your children, you can feed yourself, you have water to drink. You are going to be praying and sing. You're going to be so joyful, because you're going to know in your heart, right, in your mind, that it's the Most High doing this, right? But you people who don't want to follow, who don't want to answer his calling, are going to cry for sorrow of heart and howl for vexation of spirit, right? Has something so bad ever happened to y'all in your life where you just feel it in your spirit? You just so down, and or you cry so bad when something happens or someone dies. I know I have someone who died in my family, and one of the family members was just literally howling from crying so bad, right? That's how bad it's going to be. That's how bad it's going to be when you have nothing to eat or nothing to drink, right? When you're hungry and you're thirsty, and you're dying of hunger, or you're starving, right? Let's go to verse 15. And ye shall leave your name for a curse unto my chosen. Those that are chosen in that day are going to know, hey, these people are cursed, man. They didn't follow the Most High. For Yahweh God shall slay thee, right? He's going to slay all these other people, right? And actually, let's go back to 66 to get a precept on that. Isaiah 66, starting on 15. For behold, the Lord will come with fire. So now this is in caps lock, right? Which means it should be Yahweh, right? But if you understand prophecy, you know that this is actually talking about Yahushai because of other verses, right? Like Isaiah 28:10 says, you put precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little. So if you want to fully understand one thing, one verse, you need to get other verses that give you a full understanding of it, right? So this is actually a mistranslation or transliteration, and this should actually be Yahushai. So, for behold, the Lord will come with fire and with chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger and fury with his rebukes, and his rebuke with flames of fire. 66 or 66:16. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many. So now I know there's a lot of people that play out, well, anybody in Christianity, right? They make Yahushai, or who they call Jesus Christ, out to be this just gentle, blue-eyed, long hair, just real gentle, even sometimes feminine man, right? But hey man, he's coming back with the sword. He's coming back to slay many people, right? He's not coming back to play around. All right. And that's why, actually, let me get a Revelation real quick. I believe it's 19. Revelation 19. Yeah, I don't think I wrote that one down. Okay, Con, right here, 19 and 13. Revelation 19 and 13. And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name is called the Word of Yahuwah. So we know John 1 and 1, right? With that precept study we did, we went over that. John 1 and 1. Yahushai is nicknamed the Word, right? So now, how many Christians do you think could picture Yahushai, or who they call Jesus Christ, clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, right? And that just goes back to him coming back to slay many people, right? For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many, right? Let me go to the comments real quick. Awakening the lost sheep of Israel. How do I know the Most High will hear my prayer and cry? If you're trying to keep his laws, statutes, and commandments, right? I don't want to go off topic too much. Let me just get you one verse real quick. Proverbs 28 and 9. He that turneth away his ear from hearing the law, even his prayer shall be an abomination, right? In Matthew, it also says that if you're going to pray to the Most High and you have anything against your brother, you should go to him and then pray, right? You need to be following what you know. That's the best advice I could say. Now, I'm not saying don't pray to the Most High, because that's up to him to hear your prayer, right? But if you're turning your ear away from hearing this word, if somebody's saying, hey man, you're breaking this law, right? You are breaking this specific law. And then you're like, nah, I'm turning away from that. I don't want to hear that, right? Then guess what? Your prayer is an abomination to the Most High. The Most High isn't trying to hear your prayer, right? The example I always give is like, if I tell one of my children, right, I got 4 kids. So if I tell one of them, hey, clean your room and sweep and mop, right? And then they turn their ear away and they don't want to hear it, right? And then they come to me and they're like, hey, can you buy me this? Hey, can you get me that? Right? Can you get me a new guitar? My oldest daughter. Am I really going to want, I'm not even going to want to hear that, right? Did you sweep and mop? Did you clean your room? No, you turned your ear away, right? So that would be the short answer to that. You need to be doing what you know you should be doing already. How do I know the Most High has not turned his back to my prayer, and say he had known me and allowed my worst fear? How do I know he's with me? So like we went over before, are you hearing his word and applying it, right? Many are called. Many of us are being called in these last days, right? Many people are being called. Now, are you answering him back? And like we read in Matthew, the 7th chapter, it said that you know somebody by their fruits. So are you do you have those fruits to prove that you're answering his calling, right? Success journey, Shabbat Shalom, Salakia, reloaded. Let me go back up. Shabbat Shalom, Barakatah, Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai. So yeah, Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai Barakatah. Israelite Gem, why not pray and genuinely ask for the Most High to show you? Pray, but make sure that there's nothing, like it says right here in Proverbs 28:9. If you're turning your ear away from hearing or from doing some of the laws, you're just like, I don't want to do that. That's too hard for me. Whatever the case is, then you need to know that you need to correct that before you go to the Father, right? So yeah, there's a few more questions, but I'm gonna go ahead and get back into the lesson. I don't want to. I'll come back to them at the end if we have time. I don't want to go too much off of the lesson, right? So let's go to Ezekiel, the 20th chapter, real quick. Ezekiel, the 20th chapter, and start on 34. Ezekiel 20 and 34. So this is a future prophecy, right? This is a future prophecy when the Most High brings us out of this final captivity, right? So Ezekiel 20 and 34. And I will bring you out from among the people. It's going to bring us out from among all these other nations, and will gather you out of the countries wherein ye are scattered, with a mighty hand, with a powerful hand, right? And with the stretched out arm, and with fury poured out. Because like we read, man, he's gonna be dishing out fury and anger and wrath. And I will bring you into the wilderness of the people, and there will I plead with you face to face. So the Most High is going to plead with us how? Through his Son, right? He's going to bring us into the wilderness of the people. What wilderness is this talking about? What wilderness is this talking about? This is, remember, like I mentioned earlier, Ecclesiastes 1 and 9. There is no new thing under the sun, right? We're going to be taken back to the wilderness, the same wilderness our ancestors went to. Like as I pleaded with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Egypt, so will I plead with you, saith Yahuwah. So this is before we go back into the kingdom, right? Have y'all ever heard that song, when the saints go marching in, right? They say, when the saints go marching in, I want to be in that number. When the saints go marching in, right? I don't know if y'all are familiar with that, but that song is actually coming from this prophecy when the Most High takes us back to the wilderness outside of the Holy Land, and then the saints go marching into the Holy Land, right? So like as I pleaded with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Egypt, so will I plead with you, saith Yahuwah, right? Verse 37. And I will cause you to pass under the rod, and I will bring you into the bond of the covenant, right? So if you're passing under the rod represents his judgments, his punishments, right? It's like it says in Proverbs that you're not supposed to spare the rod from your children, right? You need to punish them when they need to be punished, or else they're just going to run wild. He's going to cause you to pass under the rod. In other words, you're going to go under that. Why? Because he's going to bring those chosen into the bond of the covenant, into that new covenant where we get those new bodies, right? And we get the law, statutes, commandments, and word put into our mind, right? Pursuant to Hebrews 8 and 8. So this is Ezekiel 20 and 38. And I will purge out from among you the rebels, right? There's actually multiple verses in the Bible that talk about purging Israel. All right. So it's no coincidence that all them purge movies are coming out, right? As we saw before, there's going to be a lot of different punishments that are going to come upon the wicked Israelites, right, in these last days. Because when all hell breaks loose, Esau and his system, the first people they're going to come for is us, is our people, it's the Israelites, right? And like that show, what was it, 1,000 Ways to Die or 10,000 Ways to Die? If y'all ever seen that, the Most High has unlimited ways to kill, right? And I will purge out from among you the rebels, those that are rebelling against the Most High, right? And them that transgress against me, anyone who's going against them. I will bring them forth out of the country where they sojourn, and they shall not enter into the land of Israel, and ye shall know that I am Yahuwah. So imagine that, man. Imagine being taken out of captivity, right? And you're taken to the wilderness, and you're thinking that you're about to get taken back into the Holy Land, right? But then you rebelled. You're still rebelling, right? And that reminds me of when Moses in the first Exodus, right? What happened? He went up to receive the commandments from the Most High, and when he came back down, what were the people doing? Does anybody know what the people were doing? When Moses went up, right, and he came back down, and what were they doing? Anybody know? Khan, they got a new Saw movie also. Khan, I'm telling you, there's gonna be so many different ways that people are gonna be put to death in these last days, right? Worshipping false idols. So Khan, they started worshiping a calf. Ivan Salazar, Khan. So they were worshiping false idols. They were already. So imagine the Most High just brought them out of the damn captivity of Egypt. They just saw all of these plagues come on Egypt and on Pharaoh, right? And then Moses leaves and he comes back shortly, and they're already worshiping a calf, right? An image of a calf. That's how hard-headed and stiff-necked our people are. And if you think about it spiritually, right? Nowadays, all the people that are being called, and I know, like I said, I know brothers and sisters that they're like, look, the Most High gave me this sign. And I'm like, that's definitely, I would definitely take that as a sign. You need to start following the Most High. And then someone else comes to me, look, the Most High gave me this dream. What do you think it means? I think it means this. And I'm like, you know what? That's definitely a sign. And even back it up with verses, right? And then look, I had another dream. I had another sign. And all these times he's calling you, he's showing you all these things. And guess what? You still want to rebel against him, right? You still want to transgress against him after all the times he's showing you, he's calling you and showing you these things. So then guess what he's going to have to do? He's going to have to purge you out, right? You might even make it out of this captivity, right? But you will not enter into the land of Israel, right? And ye shall know that I am Yahuwah, right? And as a matter of fact, get this precept real quick. Luke 19, I believe it's 27, right here. So this is Yahushai, right? Because remember, Yahushai is going to come back with the 144,000, and he's going to start taking care of business. The slain of him shall be many, right? He will be dressed in a vesture dipped with blood, right? So when Yahushai is back out there in the wilderness and you're going to rebel against him, let me go back to it real quick. I will purge out from among you the rebels, and you that transgress against me. I will bring you out of the country where you sojourn, right? Where you journey, where you're in captivity, but you're not going to enter into the land of Israel. So check this out. But those my enemies, which would that I should not reign over them, bring hither and slay them before me, right? This is a prophecy. Yahushua didn't have nobody put to death when he was first back on the earth, right? It's like a lot of brothers say, the first time Yahushua was here on the earth, It was to take away the sin of the world, right? To give us a shot at grace. But when he comes back next time, he's going to kill them that are in that sin, right? But those mine enemies, which would not that I should reign over them. Now think about this. I don't know about y'all, but I know a lot of brothers and sisters that do not believe in Yahushua, right? Brothers and sisters. They're called OT only Israelites, Old Testament only Israelites, right? They don't believe in Yahushua, which is crazy and ridiculous when you understand prophecy and that Yahushua is in all of the Old Testament. In Genesis, the first chapter, right? He's there. In all throughout the Old Testament, he's there. But there's a lot of people that don't believe in Yahushua, and they're not going to want him to reign over them, right? Bring hither and slay them before me. Yeah, that's that purging out the rebels, right? He's going to purge out the rebels and them that transgress against the Most High, right? So let's go to Hebrews 10 and 31. Hebrews 10 and 31. And actually, I probably could have started with this or brought it out a little earlier, but simple. Hebrews 10 and 31. It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power. It's a fearful thing to fall into the Most High's hands. And it's crazy because so many people don't understand that. It's a fearful thing to fall into his hands. Because like I said, he's the creator of all things. He can make anybody die in any way that he wants them to. Right? In any way that he wants you to. He's got a billion different ways for us to die. As a matter of fact, let me go back to start on 25, same chapter. Hebrews 10 and 25, not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together, right? During the Passover, during these holy days, even on the new moons, it's supposed to be an assembling of believers together, right? To study, to come together, to fellowship, things of that nature. So it's saying, don't forsake that, don't forget about that, as the manner of some is. And right now, I know most of y'all or some of y'all are probably like me, right? And y'all don't have so many brothers or sisters in your area, but this is actually assembling of ourselves together as well, right? Coming together and studying the word. So as the manner of some is, but exhorting one another, and so much the more as ye see the day approaching. So we need to be exhorting one another, pushing each other to follow the word, showing each other precepts, even when you're just posting the word, right? Commenting and sending people certain verses, talking to each other, I'm going through this, sending verses back and forth. So much the more as you see the day approaching. And as we know, the day is approaching. So let's go to the next verse. For if we sin willfully, after that we have received the knowledge of the truth, there remaineth no more sacrifice for sins. Now, I don't know about y'all, but that's a scary verse right there, right? If we sin willfully, after that we have received the knowledge of the truth, there remaineth no more sacrifice for sins. That's a scary verse right there. Willfully, what is willfully? I'm just gonna do it. I don't care what I know it says this, I don't care. Right? After we have received the knowledge of the truth, there remaineth no more sacrifice for sins. We'll go to the next verse. But a certain fearful looking for of judgment and fiery indignation, which shall devour the adversaries. So if you want to just sin willfully, and you know what, I'm gonna sin, and I'm gonna sin, and I don't care. I'm gonna sin. I know the truth, but I'm gonna sin, right? Then this is what you have to look forward to. A certain, that means for sure, fearful looking for of judgment. You're gonna be judged by that. Fiery indignation, that lake of fire, which shall devour the adversaries, right? Let's go to the next verse. He that despised Moses' law died without mercy under 2 or 3 witnesses. So now there was laws back in the days that you would be put to death for, right? Which I also did a study on not too long. That was probably a few months ago. There's certain laws that you would be put to death for, right? Which now we have grace through Yahushai. So we don't have to be put to death for them, but we still have to get right. Of how much sorer punishment, suppose ye, shall he be thought worthy who hath trodden under foot the Son of the Most High? So now let me go back. If those that didn't want to follow Moses' law, they died, right? They died. It's going to be much sorer or worse punishment, right? For those who hath trodden underfoot the Son of the Most High. Because what we need to understand is that the Most High sent his Son to die for our sins, right? So now that you have that grace, if you know and you're still willfully sinning, like it says right here, verse 26, if you're willfully sinning, I don't care. I got the truth. I know Yahushua died for me, right? I just don't care. There remaineth no more sacrifice for sins. There's going to come a point in time where the Most High just says, that's enough, right? There's no more sacrifice for your sin. That's it, right? And like in the video I did, like I said, I think it was a few months back, but the example I always give is like me, for example, I have one son, right? If one of you, let's say I'm a judge here in Texas, right? And one of you came before me and you committed crimes that were worthy of death. I could give you, you deserved the death penalty. I could give you the death penalty. And I'm not saying that that's right, the whole death penalty and all that, right? But for example, I'm a judge, a county or federal judge in Texas, and one of y'all come to me and you should be put to death according to the law, right? And then I say, you know what? I love you so much. My son here, Noah, is going to stand in for you. He's going to be put to death. And I'm going to let you go free. I'm going to give you a grace period. Just get yourself right. Don't let it happen again. Right? Of course, I would never do that. I would never do that with my actual son, which, of course, the Most High's love is beyond our comprehension. Right? But for example's sake, I let my son die for you. Right? Let's say you murdered somebody. And I say, you know what? My son's going to die for you. You're free to go. I don't want to see you again, though. Stop sinning, right? And then you come back next week and you did it again. And then you expect me to forgive you again. And I'm like, you know what, man? I let my son die for you. I thought you were going to get right. But all right, go ahead. I'm going to let you free again, right? And you come back again, and you come back again, and you come back again and again and again. How many times do you think I'm going to let you go free before I'm just like, you know what? That's enough, man. That's enough. There's no more sacrifice for your sin, right? And that should be another scary thing, because it literally says here, for if we sin willfully after that we have received the knowledge of the truth. What is the knowledge of the truth? Hey, Yahushua died for your sins. You have a grace period. You need to get right and start following the law, statutes, commandments, and precepts to the best of your ability, right? Then there remaineth no more sacrifice for sins. There's going to come a point in time, if you just keep going off and keep going off, where the Most High is just going to be like, you know what, man? You don't appreciate the sacrifice that me and my son made. So that's it, right? So back to verse 29. Of how much sorer punishment, suppose ye, shall he be thought worthy who hath trodden under foot the Son of the Most High? So people that are just sinning willfully, you are trotting underfoot. You're stomping all over the Most High's sacrifice in his Son, right? You're stomping all over Yahushua. That's what you're doing. And hath counted the blood of the covenant wherewith he was sanctified an unholy thing. You're saying with your actions, that's an unholy thing. He died for my sins. I don't care. That's an unholy thing, right? And hath done despite unto the Spirit of grace, right? You don't care that you have that grace. You don't have that you have that grace period to get right, right? Let's keep going. For we know him that hath said, vengeance belongeth unto me, right? Quoting the Old Testament when Yahweh said that. I will recompense, saith Yahweh. And again, Yahweh shall judge his people. Yahweh is going to judge his people, right? It's crazy, man, because everybody wants to be, and I'm not gonna generalize everybody, right? But a lot of people want to be always teaching or preaching against the other nations, right? Well, Esau this and Edomites that and Elam and all these other nations of people, right? They're wicked and they're gonna be this and that's fine to bring that out, right? But that should not be the main thing that you're preaching about. That should not be the main thing that you are pushing out there, right? Why? Because guess what? He's gonna judge his people first, right? It's not, to me, that comes off as a self-hatred type of thing when you're always preaching about other nations, right? When it's always about other people, because it's like when somebody, I'm sure y'all have seen it before, when someone's preaching the word or something like that, and then someone comes up and they say, hey, well, can white people be saved? Right? And then it'll be an Israelite, right? It'll be a Jake or an Eve. It'll be an Israelite comes up, well, do y'all believe that white people can be saved? Why does it have to be straight to those people? Why don't you put your people first? Right? So it's to me, when people are always bringing up all these other nations of people and all this stuff all the time, right? I'm not saying you shouldn't do that, but you have to understand that the Most High is going to judge his people first, right? Let me get that real quick, as a matter of fact. In other words, worry about your own salvation first. That's what I'm going to say. 1 Peter 4:17. For the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of the Most High. So if judgment is going to begin with us, that's who we need to be worried about first and foremost. First, second, third, fourth, and fifth, right? We know that all these other people are going to be judged. Of course, the Most High is a perfect God, right? He's going to judge all these other people. But we need to understand that judgment is going to begin with us. So we need to worry more about, be more concentrated on us first, right? So let me go back and finish. For we know him that has said, vengeance belong unto me, I will recompense, saith Yahweh. And again, Yahweh shall judge his people. Verse 31. It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living God, right? Of Yahweh. So now let's jump back to chapter 6. Starting on verse 4. For it is impossible for those who were once enlightened and have tasted of the heavenly gift and were made partakers of the Holy Spirit. Anytime it says Holy Ghost, it means Holy Spirit, just so y'all know. For it is impossible for these people that have tasted of the Most High Spirit, right? Let's keep going. And have tasted the good word of Yahweh and the powers of the world to come, if they shall fall away, to renew them again unto repentance. This should scare every one of us, right? This is verse 6. If we look back at verse 5, it says, for down here at the bottom, for it is impossible for those who have tasted of all these things, right? If they shall fall away, to renew them again to repentance. So going back to like we were reading in Hebrews chapter 10, there comes a point where the Most High says that's enough, right? The Most High says, that's it, man. The Most High is not playing with people that are in the truth, out the truth, in the truth, out the truth, right? I'm gonna follow, I'm not gonna follow. And that's why in Revelation 3 it says that he would rather you cold or hot, because if you're lukewarm, he's gonna spew you out of his mouth, right? If they shall fall away, to renew them again to repentance. It is impossible. There's going to come a time where if you keep going off, it's going to be impossible for you to repent. Why? Seeing they crucify to themselves the Son of Yahuwah afresh and put him to an open shame, right? There's a lot of brothers and sisters that are putting Yahuwah to an open shame. They've come out and said, I'm a Hebrew Israelite. We got to follow the Bible. We this, we that. And then you're out here crucifying to yourself the Son of the Most High afresh, meaning again and again and again. You're putting him to an open shame because people see you as a representation, right? Or as an oracle, like we were talking about in the speech lesson that we did. If you are seen as someone who represents the Most High, and then people see that, and they see you as a representative of the Most High, and then they see you going off and smoking weed and doing all these manner of wickedness, right? You are putting Yahuwah to an open shame. You are putting the Most High to a shame. You are bringing shame to his name. You are bringing shame to the name of his people for you to even call yourself a Hebrew Israelite and then go off and go off and go off. Right? Which is why there's gonna come a point in time, which I can't say you've already hit that point in time. I've already hit that. This brother, oh no, he did this, he went off. But you need to know. That's not for me to know. That's for you and for the Most High to know. Right? Like we read on the lesson with parents, honoring your parents. Said the Most High can put your light out, man. The Most High can just put your light out and you're not going to want to follow him no more. You're going to know that his spirit is not with you anymore, right? So I know a lot of brothers actually, let me go to Proverbs 24 and 16. All right. A lot of people try and use this verse as a cop-out. A lot of people try and use this verse to be lukewarm, right? Proverbs 24 and 16. For a just man falleth 7 times and riseth up again, but the wicked shall fall into mischief. So now I've heard many brothers and even sisters say, yeah, well, a just man falls 7 times and he rises up again. So it's all right if I smoke weed today and then I quit for a couple days and then I smoke again. And then I'm going to say I quit for the Most High, and this time it was a week, and then I start smoking again. It's all right. I fall 7 times. I fell 20 times. Now I fell 30 times, right? As long as I rise up again, I'm good. I'm going to make it, right? No, that's not how it works. A just man falls 7 times. Everybody or anybody who knows the scriptures and knows prophecy, 7 is the number of completion, okay? 7 is the number of completion, meaning there's going to come a point in time where you're not going to fall into that again. That 7th time, it may be the first time, it may be the second time, it may be the 3rd time, and then you're like, you know what, that's it. I can't play around with my salvation like this no more, right? For me, with the example I always give is smoking weed, right? I smoked weed for about 14 years of my life. And then when me and my rib were coming into the truth, she being the humble and obedient and shamefaced woman that she is, she found out about smoking weed, right? And she watched some lessons, right? This was before we even got married. And she found out, you know what, smoking weed, these scriptures go against it. You shouldn't be smoking weed. So instead of coming to me and saying, you shouldn't be smoking weed, that's bad, you're going off, blah, blah, blah. She got a little flashcard. She wrote down some verses on it. I came home from work one day and she was like, here, if you just read these or look into them whenever you get a chance and just tell me what you think, right? And I'm not going to lie, when I read it, I looked at it and I was like, wait, I know this verse. 1 Corinthians 3:16 is about defiling your temple. Okay, what's this? Genesis 1:29. Okay, I gave you every herb bearing seed for meat, which means to eat, right? And then Sirach 38:4, the Most High made medicines out of the earth. He who is wise will not abhor them. It's for medicine, right? And it clicked in my head. The Most High put that spirit on me. You know what? I can't smoke weed anymore. I'm defiling my temple. He's going to destroy me in one way or another. And he was already destroying my memory, right? He was already starting to destroy my finances because I was spending way too much money buying like a gram of dro every day, right? But the point that I'm making is she showed me that, and I'm not gonna lie, I was mad at her. I was holding a grudge towards her for about a week, right? For about a week, I was like kind of trying to avoid her, keeping our conversations real short. But again, that was that spirit of smoking weed, which was on me for 14 years, coming off of me, right? So you have to understand, of course, I'm not gonna be in a good or happy mood when I had that spirit on me for so long, right? But the point is, when she said stop smoking weed, that was it. I was like, all right, I'm not smoking weed no more. I made a promise to the Most High. And if you read in Deuteronomy, it says, if you're going to make a promise to the Most High, you better keep it. Because it's better if you don't even promise and if you break it, right? So I made that promise to the Most High. And then I'm not going to lie, one time after that, I hit a vape pen. And I was like, well, this isn't really smoking. I hit that vape pen one time. And after that one hit, I got so high, I felt horrible. Like I didn't even want to be that high. I don't know any of y'all that have smoked weed before, and you get so high that you don't even want to be high no more, right? You don't even want to feel that no more. I felt disgusting. And after that, it was like, that's it. That's the 7 times. I've never smoked, vaped, nothing like that. From 14 years, basically stopping cold turkey, right? So when it says a just man falls 7 times, that means the number of completion. There's going to come a point in time where you have to say, that's it, right? I'm not going to go and get with that chick no more, right? I'm not going to sniff coke no more, right? I'm not going to keep breaking this commandment. I'm not going to keep stealing, right? That was another problem for me in the world. I would go out and just steal all the time, right? But the point is, a just man falleth 7 times and riseth up again. That 7th time, you're going to rise up again and you're going to say, you know what? I'm not going to sin like this anymore, right? I'm not going to do this. But the wicked shall fall into mischief. So when the wicked fall, it doesn't matter if it's 7 times, 20 times, 50 times, they're going to keep falling into that mischief, right? So that's just a little side note, because I know, and I've seen even brothers make videos and teach on it and say, yeah, you fall 7 times. As long as you rise back up, you're good. But no, you need to understand that there has to come a point in time where you realize that you can no longer do that. You can't keep doing that, right? So let's go to 1 Samuel 15. Let me see. 15, I think it's 20. 23. Start on 23. So remember, it said in Ezekiel, the 20th chapter, that they're gonna the Most High is gonna purge out the rebels, right? He's gonna purge out the rebels of Israel. So this is 1 Samuel 15 and 23. For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft. If you read in the law, Leviticus says, thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. Back in the day, they would put witches to death, literally. So rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, right? In other words, rebels are going to be put to death as well. In the last days, like it said, Ezekiel 20, the rebels are going to be put to death. And stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry. Because thou hast rejected the word of Yahuwah, he hath also rejected thee from being king. So now I don't know if any of y'all are familiar with this story, right? But this is talking about Talking about Saul, King Saul, right? Who was king right before David. The Most High told him through Samuel, he said, look, you're going to go against these Amalekites, right? Which for those of you who don't know, the modern day Amalekites are the so-called Jewish people, right? The fake Jews, the Revelation in 2:9 and 3:9 Jews, the synagogue of Satan, right? So at this point in time in history, Saul was the king, and the Most High through Samuel told him, you need to kill the Amalekites and you need to don't spare none of them, right? So what did Saul do? Saul didn't listen to that, right? He kept the king alive and he kept some of his livestock alive, right? So this is Yahweh telling him, because you rejected me, right? You rejected my word. I'm going to reject thee from being king. And if you go on to read the story, of course, Saul ends up passing the torch, so to speak. David becomes the king, right? Let's go to the next verse. And Saul said unto Samuel, I have sinned, for I have transgressed the commandment of Yahweh and thy words, because I feared the people and obeyed their voice, right? So now this is a big problem amongst Israel, okay? Especially when you're new to the truth, right? You fear what people are going to think about you. You fear what people are going to say about you if you follow the Most High's word, right? If you follow the commandments of the Most High, if you follow his word, right? You fear the people, right? So they say with their voice, right? They say, no, come on. You don't got to keep Sabbath. Let's go, blah, blah, blah. Let's go do this, right? No, it's all right. Let's just smoke one more time. It's all good. It's just a little weed. We all do it, right? Or it's okay. It's okay. Let's just go out and do whatever. Let's just fornicate. Let's go against the Most High. It doesn't matter, right? Of course, they're not going to say it in those words, but a lot of people fear what people are going to say about them, right? So they obey their voice. And because of that, they sin against the Most High and they transgress against the Most High and his words, right? And you got to think about it this way. Saul, right? Saul was the king of Israel. So he was obviously, at one point in time, the Most High was seeing him as a leader, right? The Most High gave him the ability and the wisdom and the knowledge and understanding to follow him. And then guess what? Saul fell off, right? So we have to understand that if a king like this, or even King Solomon, right, who was the wisest man to ever walk the earth besides Yahushua, if he fell off, right, because of women, right, his wives turned his heart away from the Most High. If that happens to them, then we have to be very vigilant and circumspect that it doesn't happen to us as well. And you can never get prideful and think that, oh, well, I'm doing good and nothing can throw me off of my high horse, right? When you're getting prideful like that. Anybody can fall out of the truth, which is why we have to cleave to the Most High, like the scriptures say, right? So I'm going to read it one last time. And Saul said unto Samuel, I have sinned, for I have transgressed the commandment of Yahweh and thy words, because I feared the people and obeyed their voice. Right? So for those of y'all who didn't see the friends and being unequally yoked study or lesson, right? I would highly recommend that you do that, because this is what happens when you are unequally yoked. This is what happens when you don't separate yourself from people that aren't trying to follow the Most High sincerely and truly, right? They are going to end up leading you astray. You are going to end up obeying their voice or obeying their actions or their ways, right? This is the king of Israel, man. I feared the people and obeyed their voice instead of the Most High. And there's many people, even people that I know personally, that do this and have done this, right? So let's go to Matthew 10 and 28. So this is Yahuwah speaking, right? Matthew 10 and 28. And fear not them which kill the body. Any man can just come up to you and just kill you, right? He can shoot you if the Most High allowed that to happen. Fear not them. That's not who you're supposed to fear. You're supposed to fear Yahuwah and keep his commandments, right? This is the whole duty of man. But are not able to kill the soul. To me, the way I see it, and I'm not trying to be, I say this in the most humble possible way, right? The way I see it is the Most High is in control of everything, right? If it's his will for me to die, then it's his will, right? Then that's what's going to happen. Most High willing, I die and I wake up and guess what? We're in the kingdom, right? But most people they don't think that way. They don't have that type of faith, right? And that could come from not following him in sincerity, right? Which again, I'm saying this in the most humble way possible. Most people fear men, fear people, fear men, women, what they'll say, what they'll do, more than they fear the Most High, right? So it says, and fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul, but fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell. The Most High can just destroy you, right? That's who you truly need to fear. So let's go to Proverbs, the first chapter. I'll probably finish with this chapter as well. Let me see how long we've been on here. An hour and 40 minutes. Yeah, we'll probably finish with this. So let's start on 22. How long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? Right? So when you're simple, a simple person doesn't have knowledge. A simple person doesn't have wisdom and understanding, right? How long are you going to love being simple? How long are you going to love living without the wisdom of the word, right? And the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. You have to understand that many people hate this knowledge. That's why they don't want to follow it. Verse 23, turn you at my reproof. In other words, stop walking in your way and turn from that correction of the word and start walking in my way, right? In the Most High's way. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you. This is the Most High saying, look, turn from your wicked way and I'll give you my spirit. I will let you know what my words mean, right? Verse 24. Because I have called and ye refused, I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded, right? The Most High, like I said before, the Most High has called many, many, many people, and they refuse to turn at his reproof, right? They refuse to stop acting wickedly. He stretched out his hand. He started punishing them, and no man regarded, right? Most people just think, oh man, I got bad luck. Oh, it's karma. It's whatever, right? But guess what? It's the Most High stretching out his hand. It's the Most High doing that to you. Verse 25. But ye have set at naught my count. But ye have set at naught all my counsel. You set his counsel to the side. I do not want that counsel, and would none of my reproof, and you would have none of his reproof. Someone gave you counsel and they said, look, things are going wrong in your life because you're not following this. You need to do this according to the word. Look, see these verses right here? It says do this. The Most High wants you to do this. That's his counsel, right? You said it at naught. You said, no, I don't want to do that. Or maybe I'll do that next week. Or you know what? I don't need to do that. I can get right with him like this. No, that's not how it works. The Most High is giving you counsel through the people around you that he's pouring out his spirit on, right? You set that aside. You didn't want to have none of his reproof. So what is going to happen? Verse 26. I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. Imagine the Most High laughing at you as you're going through all of these things and being destroyed, right? Imagine the Most High mocking you when your fear comes upon you, like we read in Isaiah 65 and chapter 66. right? When he brings your fears upon you, and in Jacob's trouble, it's going to be too late, right? That's your punishment. You're going through it already. That's it, right? Yahushua is already coming back, and it's too late, man. You had all these opportunities. You had all these signs. You had all this counsel that you said it not. You just pushed it to the side. So now the Most High is going to laugh at you. He's going to mock when your fear comes, right? That's what you wanted, right? You wanted, or you chose this person over me, over the Most High, right? That's what you wanted. So guess what? Now you get to eat the fruit of your ways, right? Verse 27. When your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you, when your fear comes, when your destruction comes, when your distress and anguish, extreme pain come upon you, right? Then shall they call upon me. Then you're going to be trying to call on the Most High, right? When martial law is coming down, or when the famine is happening, right? And you got nothing to eat, and your children are starving, right? Or your children are about to get dashed to pieces, or your wife is about to get ravished, and then you're going to call on the Most High, right? You think he's going to answer? But I will not answer. He's not going to answer. Why? Because they shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. You're going to seek them, and you're going to think, okay, this is just about to happen, right? Let me do this real quick. Let me do this early before it happens. It's about to happen. I see the martial law troops coming. But guess what? You're not going to find him. He is not going to answer you, right? Because you didn't want any of his counsel. You didn't want to listen to his signs. For that they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of Yahuwah, right? You didn't want to choose his fear. So going back to, let's finish with what we started with. Sirach, the first chapter. So if you truly fear the Most High, you are going to start keeping his word, right? The root of wisdom is to fear Yahuwah, and the branches thereof are long life. If you don't fear him, you are not going to receive that long life. Okay? The root of wisdom. So now, let me say this. A lot of people have knowledge, okay? I know one brother and I know one sister personally that they can quote a lot of verses, okay? And they kind of fell out the truth. Most High willing, they'll come back into the truth, right? They have knowledge. They have certain verses, right? But wisdom is the application of knowledge, right? Wisdom is when you apply the knowledge that you have. So like I used to teach a couple years ago, I used to teach jujitsu, right? And I always remember there was this one kid, and man, I would show him a move, and he would be able to just do it. He would be able to show me it, right? He'd be like, oh yeah, you do this, and then you do this, and then you do this, right? And I'll be like, yeah, that's perfect, good. You didn't forget none of the steps, right? He had the knowledge of it. But then when it came down to him being in a tournament, it was like he was like a beginner. He didn't even know what to do. He didn't even know where to put his hands. He didn't know. He was just frozen, right? He didn't have that wisdom. He couldn't apply that knowledge, right? He could not apply the knowledge. So a lot of our people, like I said, or even scholars that study the word, right? They know a lot of Bible verses. They got a lot of knowledge, but they don't have wisdom, because wisdom is to fear the Most High. And when you have wisdom, what do? The fear of Yahweh driveth away sins. How do you drive away sins? By applying his laws, by applying his words, right? And where it is present, it turneth away wrath. So if you want him to turn away that wrath, right? If you don't want to see your children dashed to pieces, your wife ravished, if you don't want to be starved to death, right? If you don't want to be, as a matter of fact, you know what? Let's finish with this verse. Let's go to Sirach 39, chapter 39, and verse 28, I believe. So check this out. Sirach 39 and 28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, right? A lot of bad spirits out there. which in their fury lay on sore strokes. That's punishments, right? Sore strokes, punishments. In the time of destruction, whenever is your time to be destroyed, right? Whether it be physically, mentally, or just killed, right? They pour out their force. They're going to pour out their force and lay on those punishments, right? These spirits, because they were created for vengeance, for the revenge of the Most High, and appease the wrath of him that made them. It's going to appease the Most High's wrath. The Most High is angry with you. He's going to send these spirits on you, right? Especially in Jacob's trouble. And guess what? It's going to please the Most High. He's the one who made them, right? Next verse. Fire and hail, famine and death. All these were created for vengeance, right? I know nobody wants to get burned to death. Shoot, burning to death and drowning got to be the worst ones, right? But I'd say fire is worse. This was made for vengeance. Hail, imagine getting just hailed on until you die. Imagine famine, right? You starve to death, or your loved ones starve to death, right? All these were created for vengeance. Verse 30. Teeth of wild beasts. There's going to be wild beasts roaming the earth, right? Imagine when there's nobody to control these animals in the zoos and they get out. The teeth of wild beasts, man. They're going to be punishing people. Scorpions, serpents, and the sword, modern day sword, guns, punishing the wicked to destruction, right? A lot of people don't realize that the Most High has made all of these things to destroy, right? The teeth of wild beasts. Imagine getting just mauled to death, right? So I'm going to finish with 28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. And remember, he could put the spirit on a person to do some evil things, right? In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them, right? So with that being said, you need to turn away from your sin if you really fear the Most High, right? If you truly fear the Most High, you're going to stop going against his word. The fear of Yahuwah driveth away sins. If you see something in the word and you truly fear him, you're going to apply it. And that's plain and simple. So hopefully, Most High willing, this study made at least one person, even if it's just one person, right? And others saved with fear, pulling them out of the fire. Hopefully one person is going to get pulled out of the fire because they're going to be saved by the fear of Yahuwah, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, right? Which I give all praise, honor, and glory to. So all praise to the Most High. Shabbat Shalom. Hope y'all have a good one tomorrow. Hopefully me and our brother Yeshaya are going to go live on the fruits of the Spirit or the Spirit of the Law. So Shalom.